Hey there, if you're looking for some motivation and some really great tips to help you start your online business and to keep you focused and excited during the process, especially when you're doing something so nerve-wracking, then you have come to the right place. I know exactly what it's like to start from scratch, to have no idea what's coming next, and to be surrounded by people that are telling me I need to be way more practical, that I need to think things through, and that I need to really rethink it. I remember for years my family kept asking me, well, do you have a job yet? Even though they had seen me travel the world and do so many things thanks to my business. And so I know that it's super important for us to stay motivated. So as a fellow entrepreneur, I'm telling you, hang in there. But before we dive in deep, let me share with you 30 seconds or so about who I am and what gives me some credibility to share with you today motivational tips for changing careers, for pursuing your dreams, and for going for it all. Hi, I'm Ilean Harris, an entrepreneur and Cuban American. When I started as an entrepreneur, I had little resources, so I quickly learned how to work smart. I experienced lots of headaches and setbacks when I started, but today everything is different. I've got clients in over 20 countries, I've traveled the world, and I want to show you how to do the same. In this community, you will gain amazing training and inspiration to build a business of your dreams and a great lifestyle to go with it. Whether you're an entrepreneur with lots of ambition and experience or you have just started your entrepreneurial journey, you've come to the right place. Remember, you can have it all. Pretty cool, right? How I went from a hot mess to a success, how you staying on the right track and never giving up can absolutely open a lot of doors for you. And if right now you're saying to yourself, what do I need to do? I'm looking to pivot. I want to change careers. I want to start my online business. Give me some motivational tips. And this is exactly what you have been looking for. I want to start first with the foundation, the base to all of this, because honestly, motivation is fleeting. Motivation comes and goes. Ask my New Year's resolutions to go to the gym, all right? And I always have the best of intentions, don't we all? We get super excited and then we get the best excuses in the world. No one would ever argue with them. I mean, whether it's my schedule, travel, the gym literally shut down in my condo building and I could not go to the gym. I mean, someone else would have said, well, work out in your living room or, go for a run, do this and that. And I'll tell you, listen, I don't run. If you ever see me running, get me help. Something has gone horribly wrong. And so that's what happens to your goals, right? You want to start your business and then you kind of throw in the towel, but we don't call it that, right? We say, I ran out of money. It got hard. I had some tech hiccups. The domain I wanted wasn't available. No, the lady didn't make the logo how I wanted it. And it could be absolutely anything that could be so soul crushing and so difficult for us. Now, when it's time for us to make our move, to take action, guess what? We say, maybe it wasn't meant for me. And that's when the excuses kick in, right? The economy's tough, not the right time to start a business, a little too scary. People don't have time, people don't have money. And we get in our own way. And so the most motivational thing that I can tell you so that you can face your fears is that you need to prevent all of that thinking by having a solid foundation. And the first one is your why. If you don't have a why that will make you cry, then my friend, anything will distract you. Anything will interest you in terms of, ooh, you would like me to quit? That sounds great. What about that excuse over there? Ooh, that sounds fabulous. But when you know why you're doing something and you are clear, there is no obstacle that will be too big. There is nothing that would be too stressful. You are going to make it happen. And so typically something that you're really passionate about is usually not even available in stores. So if you're saying to yourself, I want to achieve X, Y, and Z goal, let's say even if you want to buy a house, is it probably about buying a house? Doubtful. It's probably about safety, about legacy, about wealth building, about security. It's about so much more. Let yourself think that through, because although you might think to yourself, what does that have to do with an online business? It has everything to do for an online business. And of course, if you want tips, if you want to learn how to turn your passions to profits, if you want to learn how I make sales in my sleep, how to generate leads daily, I'm going to leave those trainings in the description below. So those parts, I'm very confident I can support you in, and I'm going to leave that in the description for you. But first, we've got to get through this, because this nitty gritty, this right here, is the difference between making sales in your sleep and not sleeping at all. Because if you don't have the right mindset, nothing else matters. Your success will never exceed your mindset. And so if you've got fears, if you're terrified about certain things, That's all right. Welcome to the party. Being an entrepreneur is how well can you balance being riddled by fears, because anything can happen. And in many cases, a lot has happened, that can be very scary. Ask 2020, a lot of entrepreneurs went through it, okay? And life happens, and so know your why. The next thing you want to know is your timeline, because a lot of people get really excited. Woo, they hear this story and they're saying, oh yeah, I'm going to be a multimillionaire, and they get all riled up, and when they take that first step, they say, wait, what? Think about it like when you go online and you see these beautiful before and after pictures, and then you go to yourself like, yo, I've had a salad for like 2 days straight, I've been working out. Why am I still in my before situation? When is my after coming? You don't think that happens to people in business? Absolutely. Why? Not because it wasn't working, but because they did not work off of a realistic timeline. So I'm never going to tell you to dream small. I'm going to tell you to work smart. So if your dream is to make $20 million, but you've never made 20 online, you've never made 20,000 online, then I think your timeline should include space for you to make your first 20, for you to make your first 20,000, for you to make your first 200,000 as you work your way up to 20 million. There's nothing wrong with your goal. I am never going to tell you to be realistic or dream small. I am going to tell you to dream smart, all right? But you've got to set yourself up to win. What happens? If you make $20,000, but you're like, I wanted to make 20 million, you're going to be really disappointed in yourself. You're going to kick yourself, and you're going to start slowly building the case subconsciously that that's just too much. And then when you're not actually working for what you want, you start demotivating yourself. You start getting in your own head. And honestly, that's where our biggest enemy lives, right? The address is between our two ears. And so it's important that you vacate your biggest enemy every single day. They need to get that eviction notice. That enemy cannot be welcome there. And so you've got to have this timeline where, yes, you are working for what you want. It is coming, but you've got to build that muscle. Because think about it. If you sit there waiting to be an overnight success, well, let me tell you, every overnight success is years in the making. There's so many people that post videos for years, and then finally one goes viral and everyone says, they took off overnight. And the person's like, what? I did overnight? No. Overnight, something worked and it took off, and that's amazing. But I have been building skills and showing up for forever. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to start your online business, you want to make this career change, and you want to stay motivated, you got to set yourself up to win. So think through, what do you really want? What do you want to achieve? And then break that down by smaller steps, okay? This isn't scaling back. This isn't being realistic. This is saying, I'm going to celebrate every phase until I hit my goal. This is saying, I am going to be super excited no matter what along the way. You think you can complain and mope and grind and be, this person that's super high maintenance and never happy all the way up to 20 million or something? Absolutely not. You think it's going to help to be like, well, if I had more followers, if I had this, if I have that. You think you're going to make your excuses all the way up? No, those things do not build stairs. They build holes you fall through. So I want you to have a solid foundation. So think about your why and think about your goal, right? What's the timeline for it? Now, when you set a timeline, you may say to yourself, all right, I want to achieve my goal in 5 years. I want to achieve it in 1 year. I want to achieve it in this amount of time. And then a lot of people will say, well, what if I don't hit my goal? And what if I miss my deadline? So what? It's just a timeline. It's just a deadline to keep you excited and motivated. You're not a gallon of milk. You're not going to expire. Your dreams aren't over. But you know what? If you set a 90-day goal to learn how to make $20,000, what if you only make 17? Big whoop, that's so cool. You probably wouldn't have made anything if you would have kept chasing the 20 million. Now look at all the muscles you built and all the skills and what you learned. And after that level, now it's so much easier to 10x that, and get closer to 200,000. Then you 10x that and you get closer to your next level. And so that is what you need to do, because it's so much easier to stay motivated if you're disciplined. And it's so much easier to stay disciplined if you're clear about what motivates you, all right? Really powerful. I am giving you the good stuff, all right? This right here can be extremely life-changing, not if you hear it, if you apply it, all right? You've got to take action. Implementation equals transformation. The next thing I want you to think about is, all right, what are goals that you want to set for your business, all right? Not just for yourself, not what do you want, what do you want to offer, what do you want to achieve? You know, all these things also really keep you motivated as you're making a career change, as you are pivoting, perhaps you are creating a brand new offer, perhaps you're stepping into a new industry, maybe you're charging more than you ever have before. And if a lot of things are new to you, it's okay. I'm going to leave you a bunch of amazing trainings in the description below so that you can take your understanding of this all to the next level. But having those goals for your business, not just for your life, will give you direction on, hey, this is an area I need to learn more on. This is an area I need to hire on. This is an area I need coaching on. You've got to be clear. Next, you've got to have some self-awareness. Have you in the past ever gotten in your way? Are you like me and maybe not 100% of your New Year's resolutions always come to life? You've got to know yourself as an entrepreneur. Remember, you're the boss now. Nobody's going to come and give you a little eval. Your results will be your evaluation. How you feel will be your evaluation. How you live your life will be your evaluation. So be self-aware. If you tend to have a lot of self-sabotaging thoughts, or if you tend to think, how am I going to make money? Nobody has the money, this and that. You know what? In this channel, in this YouTube channel, I've got the Millionaire Mindset series. That's a playlist that you can sink your teeth into as well, and you can learn a lot about. But you've got to know your strengths and your weaknesses, all right? You can keep focusing on your strengths, and you can outsource your weaknesses. If you don't have a big old budget, then you need to develop those weaknesses until you're ready to outsource them, all right? You got to work with what you have. You have what you have. It's not the end of the world, and you got this. You can have it all, but it's not going to happen if you just keep doing things the same way over and over and over again. It said it's going to be transformational for you to face something. So for me, for instance, I grew up in not so safe neighborhoods. They were not my favorite neighborhoods, all right? Don't miss them. And I love the people and I had great community, but I did not feel safe. So one of the toughest things for me in business was actually being more visible, because I grew up actually shying away a bit from getting attention and, you know, running the house and get home early and don't be out after dark. And so now you've got this brand new world. We were, at least I wasn't, my generation wasn't raised on social media. It's all brand new. And I had to work on, it is safe for me to succeed. It is safe for me to feel visible. Some people might need to work on their money mindset. They need to understand the amount of abundance in the world. They need to understand that it is safe for them to charge their worth. And so you've got to have this self-awareness. If you are terrible at being productive, you have to know it is okay for you to change. It's okay for you to be responsible, that your business requires of it. Are there apps for productivity, alarms you need to get, an accountability partner, a coach? What is it that you need? You've got to have that self-awareness, because no one knows us better than ourselves. Next, I want you to have an action plan. Motivation is super fun, but it's easier to stay motivated when you are not confused. Have you ever seen a lost, confused, dazed person that's also super motivated? No, at least not usually in a very healthy situation, right? And not consistently. And so you've got to have your action plan, because then you're not wasting your time spinning your wheels, doubting yourself, and getting in your own way, wasting times on, hey, next shiny object syndrome, right? What's the next thing I should do? Should I do a podcast? Should I do a blog? Should I do this? Should I do that? Not necessary. You've got to have your action plan. If you're not sure what your action plan should be, no worries. I've left you fabulous trainings, fabulous trainings. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited right now, and I just did some videos in Spanish, and so it's so funny to see it all coming together. But I'm going to leave this in here, and I'm not going to edit it out, because I want to show you it's not about perfection. It's about being authentic. It's about being real. It's about putting yourself out there, and that's the other thing of my self-awareness, right? It is safe to be me, and you can be yourself, because that's where there's no competition. There's only one you. And lastly, of course, how do you stay motivated? Well, one of the things that you can do in addition to all the things I just listed out is that you can set rewards for yourself. So, hey, if you achieve X, Y, and Z, let's say you finish all your work early one day, you complete your tasks that you set out to do that day, you have all this extra time, Try not to reward work with more work. Go for a walk, hang out with friends, take an extra long shower, do your nails, read a book, watch an episode of a show. Maybe not binge an entire series. I don't know if that's great for a small new business. But, what are some ways that you can reward yourself? If you reward work always with more work, who the heck is going to be motivated to finish? When I started, would motivate myself and I would reward myself with fresh flowers when I bought groceries. And that is so small, but when I tell you, it meant the world to me. It brightened up my desk. It made me smile. It elevated my space. I always think if you work in beautiful spaces, you create beautiful things. And that was such a big deal to me. I also love reading books. And so I would tell myself, all right, so I can, sink my teeth into this book after I've done X, Y, and Z. And so it's okay for you to reward yourself. Never wait, especially as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, much less if you've made a career change, maybe from corporate where you're used to bonuses or trips or recognition or ribbons, certificates, shout outs in the group chat, anything, right? When you're an entrepreneur, crickets, okay? And it should also be internal. I can't live my life waiting for me to post a picture and how many likes did it get? And did people comment? And do people think I look a certain way? That's just going to be so unhealthy because that's what I cannot control. No matter how hard I work, no matter how nice I am, I always get a nice little hater just to keep me on my toes, right? There's always going to be somebody with unsolicited feedback. And so if I did not have that internal motivation, that would be so ridiculously hard to keep growing in my business. So find ways for you to stay motivated within yourself. Work with your network, face those fears, keep pushing one day at a time, all right? That is all you need to do. You need to conquer today. Tomorrow will be another day. All right, so check out those resources. Keep learning, keep growing. People need you and they need this version of you and they need you to be yourself and they need someone just like you so that they can feel seen and heard and supported. So go out there, do your best, and remember, you can have it all and you can have it now. I'll see you in the next video.